I would like for these zones to be selected based on real and actual current crime rates and statistics, rather than on past stigma, reputation, fear, or suspicion of these communities. And these real and actual crime rates and statistics must also include white-collar crime. If there's any other approach to selecting communities based on what happened 5 or 10 years ago and the way that people subjectively feel about particular communities, then I don't think that that would work.
So what areas immediately come to mind when you heard of this suggestion?
Geographically speaking, the only areas that I would entertain a thought about would be those specific communities where there have been an alarming increase in actual crime rates. I don't want to give examples of communities that are, but I could more speak, and I'm more willing to speak on communities that are not. For example, based on recent releases by the TTPS regarding the number of gangs in each police division, it was noted that the largest number of gangs are no longer in Port of Spain. They're in West Trinidad. And so if white-collar crime is included as part of the consideration for what a zone of special operation must be, then we have to be completely objective about defining and redefining areas. So I would say, for example, persons who consume or sell on street corners illegal narcotics, those areas must be considered no more dangerous than other areas where residents may own and control large businesses and be responsible for the direct importation of illegal narcotics, circulation of illegal weapons, and also money laundering through big businesses. We tend to only redefine a dangerous community by the visibility and also the media sensationalization of the acts that specific residents in those communities commit. So if we are honest, open, realistic, and take a full view of the complete spectrum, then I think that should be the guidance for which we prescribe these zones.
I mean, you touched a bit on this a little bit earlier, but how are we going to formalize these marginalized communities as hotspots without adding to the stereotypes?
Well, by simply making reference exclusively to the actual fact. So, for example, the Laventille community has had a overwhelmingly significant reduction in murders. But yet still the stigma may remain because of how the area is treated ideologically in conversations about crime. So I don't think we should consider the views, feelings, and sentiments and attitudes that people have about an area. We should be factual about the actual numbers and statistics, the quantitative data that is coming out of these areas. And there are many parts of Trinidad right now that have some out of control crime rates that still do not have that stigma. I think that communities like that should be sooner prescribed the status of a zone of special operation than one that may have cleaned up, changed, transformed to some degree, but again, the reputation still lingers on.
So you're saying it should be data-driven?
Yes, it must be data-driven, and also there must be strength in the machinery in the system to engage in, again, open-mindedness and to refrain from racial profiling, youth stereotyping, and area of residence discrimination, and be guided accordingly.